Dearest allowance (DA) is a cost of living adjustment and increase made to the basic pay of government officials and public sector workers employees. Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Before moving ahead, like, share and subscribe the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Public sector unit employees are also government employees but not civil servant. Some private sector employees and civil servant are pensioners in India. Dearest allowance is calculated as per percentage of the Indian citizens' basic salary to mitigate the impact of inflation on people. Indian citizens may receive a basic salary or pension that is then supplemented by a housing or a dearest allowance or both. The guidelines that govern the dearness allowance vary according to where one lives. Dearest allowance is a fully taxable allowance. The two types of dearest allowances are dearest allowances given under terms of employment, and second one, dearest allowance not given under the term of employment. Both pensioners and their families are granted dearness allowance, and this continues following re-employment with the Government of India or state government, a public sector undertaking, autonomous bodies or a local body. That is, dearest allowance is allowed in addition to a recipient fixed pay or time scale. In other cases of re-employment, access to dearness allowance is subject to the limit of emolument last drawn. Dearness allowance is not allowed during a pensioner's time overseas if employment is undertaken. It remains accessible to overseas pensioners whilst the recipient is not employed. The dearness allowance was introduced following the Second World War and was then known as dear food allowance. The old textile allowance was also introduced in 1947, though this was revised and reintroduced in 1953 as the revised textile allowance. Initially, dearness allowance was given in response to demand of employees for wage revision. Later, it was linked to consumer price index. In the past, various committees have been constituted to look into the issues of payment of dearness allowance to central government employees. The Third Central Pay Commission recommended payment of dearness allowance, where the CPI rose by 8 points over the index of 200. The alphabet may vary according to different situation, with base 1960 equals 100. The extent of neutralizations granted with effect from 1st January 1973 ranged from 100% to 35%. The Fourth Central Pay Commission recommended the grant of dearness allowance on a percentage system of the basic pay in 1986. It also recommended payment of dearness allowance twice a year, 1st January and 1st July. Each installment of dearness allowance was to be calculated with reference to the percentage increase in the 12 monthly average of all India Consumer Price Index CPI based in 1960s. The extent of neutralization now ranged from 100% to 65%. The Fifth Central Pay Commission looked into the issue of differential neutralization and found it to be injustice to senior officers and recommended uniform neutralizations of 100% to employees at all levels. The Commission had suggested that dearness allowance should be converted into dearness pay every time the cost of living rises by 50% over the basic level. The Sixth Central Pay Commission recommended revision of base year of Consumer Price Index CPI as frequently as feasible. It also changed base year for dearness allowance calculations to 2001. Base year 2001 equals 100.